Okay, so we opened class today looking at a picture on the whiteboard. It's a picture of an old man dancing, and it says, "Growing old is inevitable, but growing up is optional." So the students have been writing in their daily journals about what it means to grow up, and how is that different from growing old, and any thoughts that they have about that. The daily journals are a free write activity, so they're welcome to write in bulleted lists. They don't need to use complete sentences if they don't want. They're welcome to try some more formal writing. They're also welcome to draw pictures. It's just for them to explore their own understanding and their own thoughts. So now as I open the class discussion today, I'm going to ask them to talk to a partner for a minute in a strategy that's called think, pair, share, so that they can kind of work out their thought process orally before anyone has to volunteer and share with the class. So that's what we'll be starting today. Okay, class, thank you so much for concentrating so hard on your daily journals. I see a lot of really furious writing, so hopefully we're exploring a lot of understanding today. I want you to share. We're going to do a think, pair, share for a minute today. So turn to a partner, turn to a neighbor, share what you wrote, what you think, show them what you drew, and kind of figure it out between yourselves what you think are the best ideas that you came up with. Okay, so we'll have a few minutes for that. And I'm not actually going to wait the few minutes that they would have in a regular class to study this, just because it's a 10-minute segment and I want to move on to some of our class practice. So thank you very much, students, for sharing your thoughts. Now, who wants to volunteer to talk with the whole class? Good, Michael. Okay, Michael thinks growing up has to do with getting more mature. Who had something similar to that? Who wants to share something in that same vein? Yeah, Brittany. Awesome. Okay, so getting more mature and not making stupid mistakes all the time. Okay, how do we avoid making stupid mistakes? Why does that have to do with growing up? Okay, yeah, Rick. Awesome. Okay, so you get better at making decisions. You get better at making decisions as you grow up. Why is that, do you think? Did anybody think about why that might be? Yeah, did you, Rachel? Very good. Oh, I love what Rachel said. Did you guys hear that? Okay, so she's talking about how you're getting more mature, you're making fewer mistakes, and you're a better decision maker because you have more experience to go on. Okay, so you can look back at what you've already done and use that to figure out what you're going to do from here on out. That makes a lot of sense to me. You guys agree? Awesome. Okay, who else, ladies and gentlemen, wants to share with us? Yes, Robert. Okay, maybe growing up isn't always a good thing. Maybe it makes you stuffy, gives you a bad attitude. Why do you guys think that might be? Okay, alright. Eddie says it might be because stuff gets more important. Like there's bigger consequences for making mistakes. Okay. Any other thoughts on this growing up idea, why it might make you stuffy? Angela. Okay, Angie says it doesn't make everyone stuffy. It just makes some people stuffy. Some people take themselves too seriously. Okay, so it's possible to grow up too much. All right, is it possible to grow up not enough? Yeah, what do you think? Okay, Mary thinks it is possible because when adults just keep making stupid mistakes, nobody likes that, right? We get over it. We're like sick of it. We think they should move on. I agree. Okay, so we're going to talk about growing up today in reference to Romeo and Juliet. We're going to talk about growing up in the sense of character development. We've talked about character development before. Who remembers about it? Yeah, Daniel, would you like to share what you remember from character development? By the way, class, this will be in your class notes from our first unit of the year. You have a definition page with character development on it. Good, look, and Daniel's turning to that page now. Exactly, okay, character development, when one of the characters in the story grows and changes because of the events that happen, the decisions they're making, the people they meet, stuff affects them, and they come out a different person at the end. Okay, so that's character development. And we want to look at character development today in Romeo. So when you came into class today, everybody got a graphic organizer. It's a table that looks just like this one, okay? And your graphic organizer has the labels. Up here I just have S, W, B, X. But your graphic organizer tells you what those mean, okay? So S is for somebody, W is for wanted, B is for but, and S is for so. So somebody wanted something, but something was in their way, so they had to get over it somehow. Okay, some big kind of definition words for these. If kids want to look, you folks want to look more into this or maybe be a little more in-depth. This is character, motivation, obstacle, solution. So there's a character who has a motivation to do something. There's an obstacle in their way. And they have a solution. They have to do something to get over the problem. So we're going to talk about that today in the context of Romeo. This is a way to make a summary. It's like a one-sentence summary. And remember how summarizing is one of our big skills that we're focusing on this year? So this kind of one-sentence summary can help you get the main ideas and learn a lot about a character in very little writing. It's a great, great tool to help you. So our somebody is going to be Romeo. We're going to be focusing on him today, his development as a character. I'm going to walk you through one of these, and then we'll do them as a class, and then we'll do them as groups, okay? So first I'm going to show you, then we'll do it together, then you'll do it in groups, and then we'll move on from there, okay? And this strategy that I'm doing is the gradual release of learning, or gradual release of control. There are several things, but it's the gradual release method where I'm going to show them my thinking and show them what happens, kind of a modeling exercise, but really opening up for them how I'm getting to my conclusions. And then we'll do it together as a class so I can get an idea for the general feel, and then they'll work in their groups on it. And we'll move from there into individual practice and other activities as they master this strategy. So I'm going to think about Romeo. Let's go to Act 1. Everybody turn to Act 1 for me, and we're going to find something that Romeo wanted in Act 1. And as I'm looking in Act 1, and I'm thinking about what Romeo wants to do, what I can tell that Romeo wants to do, on page 3, I'm thinking, okay, so Romeo and his friends are talking, and what do they want to do? What does Romeo want to do? And they're talking about having fun. They're talking about going out and doing something. So I'm like, okay, Romeo wants to have fun. Okay, so Romeo wants to have fun. And then I'm going to read and look for the obstacle. There's always an obstacle when a character wants something. Romeo wants to have fun, but what's the problem? What's the problem? And I realize as I'm reading that there's nothing going on. They're trying to think of something to do. So nothing is going on. And I'm thinking, I've been there before. I know what it's like to feel like I want to do something. I want to go out and have fun, but I can't think of anything that's going on. None of my friends have any idea what to do. And so we're like stuck. Okay, so nothing is going on. So they have to think of something to do. So I'm going to look at what they're thinking of doing. What do they come up with? Okay, so turn a page with me and we'll see what conclusion they reach, okay? What do they want to do? Romeo's going to go crash a party. Okay, not just any party. Party he's not supposed to be at. So he's going to crash Romeo's going to go crash the Capulet's party. So here's my one sentence summary. Are you ready? Is everybody following along? Romeo wants to have fun, but nothing's going on. So he decides to crash the Capulets. That's my one sentence summary. This is how I figure out what Romeo was like. So what does that tell me? I'm thinking to myself, what does that tell me about Romeo? What do I know about somebody who wants to have fun, is bored, and decides to crash a party of a place he's not allowed to go? What does that tell me? That tells me a couple of things about Romeo. I think about my friends, okay? When my friends and I want to do something, we would never go and crash a party. Why? Because we are super following the rules, boring kind of people. We would much rather go to a movie or just stay in and not do anything than crash a party we weren't invited to. So this tells me that Romeo is gutsy. It also tells me that Romeo is impulsive. Why would you go somewhere you're not allowed to go just on a whim? What if he gets caught? This is telling me that Romeo doesn't think very closely about what he's doing. And you know what else? The fact that he specifically goes somewhere he isn't allowed to go, somewhere that hates him, somewhere that doesn't want him. That tells me that Romeo's a little bit of a rebel. He thinks it's more fun. He's an adrenaline junkie. He's in it for the fun. That's what I'm learning about Romeo. So now let's do one us together, okay? Now for this one, for mine, it was cool if you were just watching, but as we're doing it as a class, I want you to make sure that you're copying it down, our class answers, on your graphic organizer so you can keep it and have examples of your one-sentence summary. Okay, so we have Romeo again as our character. Who can continue looking through Act 1 and tell me something else that Romeo wants, or something that you remember from Act 1? Ready? Who? Okay, Brad. Thank you. What does Romeo want? What's something Romeo wants? A chick. Very good. Romeo wants a girlfriend. Good. Okay, so Romeo wants a girlfriend. But does Romeo have a girlfriend in the first act? Why does he want a girlfriend? Who can tell me? Brittany. Okay, yeah. Yeah. So Romeo wants a girlfriend, and he has a girlfriend, Rosalind. Okay. So Angela, what can you tell me about why Romeo still wants a girlfriend even though he has Rosalind? Awesome. Rosalind isn't doing what he wants. Things are not going well with Rosalind. He's tired of Rosalind. He thinks he loves her. Okay, that's very good. You caught me in a lie. That's true. In Act 1, he thinks he's in love with Rosalind, but he's frustrated with her. Okay, so he's frustrated with Rosalind. Is everyone getting this? So far your summary is reading Romeo, somebody, wants a girlfriend, but he's frustrated with Rosalind, so, yes, Juliet. So he turns to Juliet. Okay, so this is our one-sentence summary. Romeo wants a girlfriend, but he's frustrated with Rosalind, who is his current girlfriend, so he turns to Juliet. Awesome. Now, what does this tell us about Romeo? Yeah, Eric? Good. He's super into girls. He's like Eric said, he's a player. What else? Okay, Courtney. Good. Romeo does not want to wait. He's not going to wait for Rosalind to come around to his idea. No, he just is going to find a different girl. Romeo does not want to wait. Awesome. Okay, so we're coming up with some great conclusions here about Romeo. Now, let's continue and we'll do a couple more examples as a class before we go into group work. So yeah, we would do a few more examples as a class, coming up with conclusions about Romeo's character, and then follow that through with examples from future acts to show how he's changing or not. So that would be the activity to teach them the one sentence summary strategy.